sun in Finland. Hi everyone, I'm Doxy and you're watching Doxy Can Make. Welcome back, or welcome if it is your first time watching. And in this channel we're talking about everything that I make in the past, in the present and in the future. From knitting, crocheting to jewelry making, anything in between that I try to make myself. And today's video is going to be a February recap, knitting podcast number 2 actually. So we're going to be talking about everything that happened in February, a little bit of like catch up, like what happened, what I have finished, what I am still working on, and what kind of books I read, and how many, what I'm currently reading, as well as yarn acquisitions. I think this is a new addition that I have been that I decided to put onto the channel. Yeah, and before we start, I'd like to say what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing my Mílo cardigan. That is my own pattern that is currently in the make, and that's what I have been saying for the past videos as well. Currently in the make, a little bit of problem with the grading. Not exactly a problem, but I'm trying to make it as inclusive as I can, so to have as many as bust circumferences as I can. So it's a learning progress, but I want to be transparent about it, so you know what is happening. But yeah, so I made my first sample. I made it with Austerman Merino lace, in holding 2 threads together because it's so thin, together with Aara yarn Hieno in the color Verso, if I'm not mistaken. And currently I'm working on the second one, but this belongs to the segment of work in progress. So let's see what maybe I have finished this month. Alright, FOs, otherwise known as finished projects. I realized as soon as I put up my knitting podcast number 1 that I forgot a project. But since I finished it on the 31st of January and wore it for the first time after it has dried on the 1st of February, I will still catch it as an FO. I will still count it as an FO for February. And this is none other but my Taika bonnet by Maija makes, and it is a very beautiful bonnet that I have decided that I really like making bonnets because I have a fridge, and whenever I make it, whenever I wash my hair and then I style them, I just feel bad to just put like a hat on top, and trust me, it is a necessity in the middle of winter or like from November, October onwards in Finland to be wearing something like to cover your ears or your head in general. So I just find it such a pity like to put like a hat as soon as I have styled my hair, because then the volume like goes whatever and the hair gets mushy. So my solution to still have ears from the cold was bonnets. So when I saw from Maija that she was asking for test knitters, and I think I was a little bit late, so I just texted her like, oh my god, I missed it, I didn't see it in time, do you still have space for test knitters? And so like, yeah I do, like I will put you in. So the reason that I did it is because on my cardigan number 9 that I did for my Taylor Swift concert, I have put beads. And I saw that in one of her samples, Maija has also put in beads, and I was like, ooh, that would be such a good idea to use some of my hearts that a dear girl, Marta, quarantine knitter, she has also sent me more. So it was a very nice idea, and to use them and to put a little bit of more sparkle in my life, I used a little bit of a golden thread. So this is, I made it. What I love about it, I made it from leftover yarn that I had from my Wabi Sabi cardigan. So I made it with BC Garn, a Hamilton Tweed 2. I think I used less than 70 grams or so. So at least my stash went a little bit down from that win. I used beads that I super love, and I made something that is completely childish, but I completely love it. I don't think I can wear it now because I have my hair, but like I look like this. Like, I look so cute, if I may say so myself. So this is my Taika bonnet. Taika in Finnish means magic, which I really like the name. I think it's very quirky in a very nice way. It resonates a lot with me. And it was very simple. The pattern is already up, I think on Ravelry or any other way. I will put a link in the description below so you can find it there. So thank you so Maija for having me making your bonnet. I absolutely love it, and I have been wearing it so much. Now you can see it very well, like the fit, because I'm having my hair in a hair clip. But yeah, and without spoiling anything, that might have been my only FO for yeah, for February. February I had, like, if you saw my first knitting podcast, or you can still see it, I had like these big plans and I had deadlines for test knits, and I also had like these big plans of what I would like to finish, like to wear, since the weather gets a little bit like cold, then gets a little bit up, so it's has a little bit up and downs, but somehow I just didn't have like the time, the energy. I got sick for 1 week inside of February, so that hindered quite of my progress. Then the other part that I think hinders my progress is that I read, and I have been reading a lot, both in digital format and with books, like physical books. Not a lot of audiobooks, which usually like helps like with knitting time, since I can have my hands free, and I haven't perfected the method of like knitting and reading at the same time. I think I have done it when it is stockinette, but not with anything else. But most of my projects have been stockinette now. But some of my projects required thinking, so yeah. Anyways, so only one FO for February, and I had like plans. I'm not disappointed, of course, but I would have liked to have finished like one more sweater before, which is now very close to being finished, and this is my Calendula sweater that I talked about it in my previous knitting podcast, and I should actually bring it on to talk about it. And I had big plans, like I wanted to finish more stuff, and I had deadlines of finishing more stuff. But somehow, due to reading, due to sickness, due to other reasons like low energy or like focus, maybe my knitting mojo just went down, even though I had a lot of ideas that I wanted to execute, and I still have, and they still haunt me. Like on Saturday, I woke up and I was already thinking about how I can do like a striped sweater that I have thought about. I was like, how can I do it? How can I do it? And how the stripes should look like. So basically I just got out of the bed, went to my laptop, opened it, went to Stitch Spindle, opened Pinterest as well, I typed striped pullovers, striped sweaters, inspiration stripes, whatever combination. And then I went down a huge rabbit hole of striped patterns and trying then to put them with my colors into Stitch Spindle. I came up with one, but then yesterday I realized that maybe I don't want like to have 3 rows of white. Maybe I want to have like 1 or 2 rows, and so I changed it completely yesterday. I think this is the final. Very happy with it. So yeah, that was interlude. That's why I didn't have a lot of FOs. I'm not exactly sad or disappointed, but I wanted to have more because there are pieces that I super love, that I really want to wear and I really want to style, and I know that they will fit perfectly in my wardrobe and everything. So yeah, and one of them is my Calendula. sweater that I was part of the test knitting, but yeah, due to various reasons, as I explained, I was a little bit late. But this is now the state of my Calendula sweater. In my podcast number 1, I was doing the neckline and there was no sleeves. But as I did the neckline, that I finished it and I bound off, there was something off with it. So I decided that I will take it out and do it again. Because I need to recalculate like some stuff. But then I was like, ooh, I'm not sure if I want now to do that. So I started on the sleeves. I finished one, the left one, and it's great. And now I'm doing the right one, and I'm super close to be finished. So I think today I'm actually gonna be finished. And I'm gonna picking up more yarn, because this was the ball that came out from the neckline. And I have been now using it on the sleeve for some rows now, because I didn't have any more yarn. So last week I have also contacted the dyer and asked her like, hey, did you maybe have in the depths of your stash and your stock any MCN sport in Iris or anything that you might have? She's like, she got back, thank you Laura for that. She got back, she's like, yeah, hey Evdoxia, I have some MCN sport and I'm dyeing it, so it's gonna be ready today, that is Tuesday, 4th of March that I'm filming this. So I'm gonna be texting her after this to see like, hey, can I pick up the yarn, because I kinda need it to finish up. So it would take me something more, it should be around 430 grams, because for the neckline I know that I'm gonna be using around 30 grams. That's how much this ball is, 29 grams if I'm not mistaken. So I should have leftovers for the sleeve, from the sleeve, around maybe 10, and then the rest from the new skein. But I have already decided I'm gonna be doing some fingerless gloves out of them. With a free pattern from Rivalry. I will also put it in the link down below. The pattern has now released, so you can find it in Emma's store on Rivalry or on Etsy if I'm not mistaken. The designer is Emma Maier. Emma Knits on Instagram, and it's absolutely love it, and I really want to finish it this week finally, so I can wear it and style it, and you can see. So yeah, you can see the progress. It has still Christmas stitch markers because I was knitting it during the Christmas holidays. But this is the one FO that I want to finish as soon as possible, and I'm trying, actually have been focusing solely on that to finish it. But I have been having yarn issues mostly and then my own issue of not knowing how to read, even though it has been quite some time since I went to school. But yeah, I'm very excited for my Calendula sweater to be soon to be an FO, hopefully. But then I have been doing a lot of swatching, and a lot of swatching for my second sample of my Mílo cardigan. Since I have been writing the pattern and like the measurements, I wanted to redo it, and Aara Yarn from Mílo yarn shop in Turku very kindly, we decided to collaborate and do that, and they kindly sponsor like the yarn for my sample, and they have sent me this lovely Mieli, which is like a superwash merino, fingering merino, and their silk mohair Aara Hieno, that I super love, and I have made two swatch. I have made, this one was 4.5 millimeter needles that I made that one, but it didn't have the exact effect as I wanted. It was a little bit more tight, so I went up like to 5 millimeter needles, and it has exactly the same like effect as this one, and it's 10 by 10. So I'm actually casting on today for my second sample, and I'm very excited because I absolutely love like the colors. I think now you can see them like a little bit better, hopefully in the sun. It has like this peachy, reddish, everything like cute apple that apples might have, like the red apple. So I really love it for that, since Mílo in Greek means apple. So that's one of the things that I have been doing. So it's not exactly an FO, but it's a whip. It's a work in progress still. And along with my other swatching, I'm part of the test knit for Daphnis Cardigan, again by Emma Knits, Emma Maier. And the yarn is kindly sponsored by Isager, and it's made in Isager Alpaca and Alpaca 2 and Isager Trio 1. I use the color 17 and strawberry for the trio, and it makes this super crazy effect. We decided together, like the combination together with Emma, and I really like what we came up with. I'm currently in the process of swatching one more time because I'm not quite reaching gauge, so I have to go down a needle from what is suggested. But I really can't wait to cast on, because the fabric that this will create, I will put a picture to see. I think it's going to be so great, and kind of new of the colors that I have. Well, it does have red and a little bit of pink and magenta like tones, but what can you do? A girl likes what a girl likes. So I will hopefully be done, maybe not today with the swatch, but maybe tomorrow, and dry it and be able to cast on during the weekend. Hopefully after I have finished Calendula. I will be so excited to start on one project after I have finished another one. And yeah, so a lot of swatching, a lot of trying to finish deadlines. But last and not least, on my things that I have worked on this month, maybe not last, but it has been the socks that I have made for my boyfriend. I have actually casted off this one on the 13th of February, so half of an FO maybe, because I thought, I got this idea that, for Valentine's I can give my boyfriend his the socks that I promised him for Christmas. I was not that successful at the time, but I did my best, I have to say. I did start the second sock, and they're just simple vanilla socks, just tucking it in the round with a reinforced heel, self-striping yarn, and these are thick socks. They are house socks, as we call them here in Finland, made in 3.5 millimeters, so they are quite dense. The yarn is Novita 7 Brothers, but the Raita one, the one that is self-stripes, and in the label it says that it's Aara. And of course I thought that one skein might have been enough. It wasn't. And then I was panicking because I couldn't find this anywhere. And then my friend Jennu texted me as I was on my Christmas holidays in Greece already. She was I saw this at the supermarket, they should have it. That's where I bought it. They should have it. And I was like, oh my god. And then I texted my partner and say hey, they have this and I will need it for your sock. Can you go get it? And he did, thank god. So at least now they're gonna be matching socks, and there might be some leftover even for some house socks for me if I wish to make them. But they're quite fun because they're quite mindless project. And since I made this a little bit long, the foot part of the sock, I did very rapid increases on the toe part. My partner has already worn them, tried them on, and they fit quite nice, and he likes them. He's very excited. So it's not exactly maybe a surprise for him, but he's excited. I'm also excited to make them for him because he has been enjoying wearing socks that his grandma has made over the years, and we are actually running low onto that supply, and that was the reason. And he actually asked me, hey, if you're thinking about getting me any gifts for Christmas, could you please maybe make me socks for the house? And I was like, oh, since you asked so nicely, of course I will. And even if you haven't asked, I would have done, and it's a nice gift for him. So yeah, this is another project that I would like to finish, and I think it's quite a mobile one, since it is just stocking it in the round, and yeah, I might have I'm doing it over in Magic Loop. This is my preferred method of doing socks. I can do socks with the 4 needles. it gets quite messy, and I tend to have like gaps on the side. And then this very small one, I also have the very small ones, like the 25 centimeters socks, that you can make socks out of them, or even ribbings of sleeves. But it's not something that I'm very comfortable. Like I need to hold them like this, and I'm usually like all of my hands are kind of involved when I knit, and they cramp up very easily and it's not very comfortable. Maybe if I do it over and over again, it will get like comfortable and more comfortable. But yeah, I haven't done it in a very long while, so I'm much more comfortable of doing magic loop, even though I know that people get like annoyed, myself included, that you have to push the needle back and everything. But at least I don't get like these ladders, like these big gaps like in between. So yeah, it has been fun, and I really like, they're engaging socks. Since it's self-striping, the yarn, you're like, oh, one more stripe, let me get into this color, let me finish this color, and then you never put it down. So if I'm not mistaken, when I was doing that, I think I finished the leg part in an evening. So it is quite easy like to do, since they're like thick yarn and everything. Yeah, that's another thing that I have been knitting on. My Rugby Inspired Pullover, that I actually have gotten the yarn on the 1st of February, which is both a yarn acquisition for February and a work in progress. And I cast it on the same day that I got the yarn. I was so inspired by the colors, but I haven't managed to do a lot like of the progress, because I was like a little bit in my mind of thinking how I will do it, since it's a pattern that I'm self-drafting myself. Not sure if it's going to be out for release or anything, but let me go grab it so I can show it, since I don't have it in the pile. Here is my Rugby Inspired Pullover. The only progress that I have done is like to have to add 3 stripes under the underarm, and I still have like a way to go. But since this opening has been a lot distracting for me, I have been thinking that I might want to attempt to do the neckline, which I'm very nervous to do. I have this white, actually the color is cream. The yarn is Knitting for Olive, all of it, that I got from Army Yarns. This is in Bordeaux, my obsession with Bordeaux, and this is Poppy Blue, this is cream. And as I was like talking about it in one of my Whip Wednesdays reels on both on Instagram and on Shorts on YouTube here, a very good friend of mine, my dear Yule, texted me and said like, may I ask you something and give you a suggestion about that? It's like, yeah, sure. And said like, have you swatched like the colors all together to see if they might bleed into the cream? So you know, like everything. It's like, oh no, I haven't done that, but thank you for saying it. I will do it, and then I will start the neckline. So I think I will continue making the body, and at the same time do a small swatch, like a very small swatch, to see if there's any bleed through, and then decide what I will have to do for the neckline. It's quite mindless, like at this point, other than me. Ooh, I lost stitches. Other than me having to do like having to change colors, but it's not really a problem. So it's quite mindless and a knit that I could be able like to make when I go like to the cinema and everything. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it will turn out. It's my first time attempting for myself, like to draft it like European shoulders, like construction, and it was fun, like fun to see and how to understand and like how much I need to do, like in here and there. It was a huge like learning progress, but it was fun to make. Next I have in my mind, as I said before, another stripe pullover that I want to make. and we're discussing again with my friend, of like how should I do it raglan, should I do it with drop shoulders, what should I do, like, and she suggested like, what if you do it like a compound, like wrap it in creases, maybe it has like a better fitting and everything. It's like, that's a very nice thought and something that I haven't tried before. So I will be watching some videos, and when I'm ready to cast on after I have finished something, I really need to finish something, because as fun it is to cast on projects, if I don't like finish and then I just like cast on and be like, yeah, YOLO, you only live once, let's cast on everything. After a while I start feeling like the pressures of all the projects like piling up, and right now I'm in this kind of pressure of feeling like, ooh, that's too many projects, I need to finish one and focus into one and finish them. I'm not a monogamous knitter, as you can see. I'm not one project person. I like the variety. I like having to going with the mood of what I am in the mood for to knit right now. But at the same time, it would be nice if I finish something the same. So that might be this together with my Daphnis cardigan by Emma and my own cardigan. That will be like the focus for March, I think. Basically because I'm obsessed with these colors. And yeah, as I said, yarn fell. As I said, that was yarn acquisition that I did in February. Just couldn't. I have talked about it a lot for this like color combo. I absolutely love it and can't wait like for the result. And in general, like all the shades of and tones of red and blues has been very, very inspiring to me, with cream, together with cream. So, and stripes will always have a place in my heart. And that would be all for all the whips that I have from February and the ones that I want to finish. And I will be very exciting like during March if I get to finish some of them and maybe start something new, especially the striped pullover that I have been fantasizing about with the other red and blue and cream combination. So that's one of the acquisitions that I did in February, a sweater quantity for a self-drafted pullover that is already in the making here. And let's get on to the acquisitions now, which is not as much as acquisition. I think like the yarn that I have purchased in February was this, and then everything else was gifted or like sponsored for test knits or samples. And one of them would be, as I mentioned, for my Daphnis cardigan by Emma, and this is the yarn that I got from Isager. I chose for the alpaca, I chose the color 17, doesn't have like another name. And then from the 301 I chose this beautiful red that is called Strawberry, and together they make this amazing combination. Yarn came last week and I immediately just like wind it up and was like, oh, I need to swatch, I need to do this and this, and it's quite lovely. It's a very nice fabric that they create, and I think quite not drapey in a sense, and I think it's going to be even more once the whole garment is in effect. So that would be another one. Then my other, again, not acquisition, this is I've shown it in my previous as well. It's this lovely Aara yarn by Mílo, and it is in Mieli, but this is on Erilainen, so this is kind of like a new colorway that we're trying to make for the Mílo cardigan. And this is the Hieno in the color Valke. I think it is a color that they already have, and I have been swatching with it as I showed here, and this is kind of the result that it creates. Once again, I didn't, I have more hair everywhere. I didn't purchase the yarn, it was kindly given to me. And another acquisition which is not going to be mine. I don't think I'm gonna get to keep it. It's to help my dear friend Hieno with a secret project of hers, and she gave me this super lovely Saya wool sock classic. It's super washed wool, and the color is Green My Loyal Mate. And I have knit it in a more vibrant green, but I'm very excited to see how these will pair. I need to wind them up in my Intelli winder and swatch yet again. So it has been a lot of swatching in February and also in March. I see it like in my future, a lot of swatching. And swatching is important to get like well-fitting garments, but I can also understand people that they don't want to swatch and they just want to wing it. The only problem comes like, who are you gonna say like it was the fault of when the garment doesn't fit? So, but if you're okay with that, then you do you. Swatch, don't swatch, however you want. I didn't swatch for my rugby pullover, I can admit that. But I will be doing a small swatch to see about the bleeding. But yeah, this is another part that she gave me like from her, like stuff that she was also given for this special project. Yeah, and I just want to sew it. And this is like my yarn acquisitions or like gifts that I have had. Like only true acquisition was the rugby pullover, and I have been a very, very good girl with yarn and trying to use my stash. But then I got given yarn, so my stash expanded. But at least the yarn is gonna go into projects, so that's very, very nice. Since I have like enough yarn for to make like all of my projects, and I don't need to unravel my swatches, I have been accumulating quite some of them, and I have been thinking what to do with them, with swatches that they are just laying around. And I know that there is a bag, like a pattern with bag that you just get to put like together different swatches of yours, which I think I would be very interested to make that, because right now I have quite of swatches from crochet, from knitting that could work for this bag. But yeah, enough rambling. Acquisitions over, so next part is coming books, and I'm very excited about them. For that segment I would have to use my phone as notes from my Storygraph app that I have been using to track online my reading habits. So for February I read 7 books that was accumulated in 4,350 pages. And more like 43% was 500 plus pages, and 57% was pages between 300 and 499. I have read only fiction, with romance being the main part, and the format that I most used was I read more digital, so I read more from my Kobo e-reader than print. So I read 3 in print, and the rest 4 was digital. Love that. So that is like a general recap. I will also try to put the wrap up that we get from Storygraph. And the first book that I finished in February. First book that I finished in February was Shadow Princess, Zodiac Academy, Shadow Princess, book number 4 of the series, and what an emotional turmoil that book was by the end. I was genuinely devastated by it, and I almost didn't want to read the next one, and I was telling my friend like, how I'm gonna read the next one, I don't know, my heart is hurting. I don't want to spoil, like to say a lot of things. I will try just to give like the general feels and the general review from my side without having a lot of spoilers. So if the people are still like are in the process of reading, they can still enjoy it. So that was my general feeling, like how I'm gonna read this is devastating for the next. But my friend Evangelia was like, just remember it has a very happy ending. I was like, it is very hard to see right now. but I pushed on. And my next book was Zodiac Academy number 5, Cursed Fates, which was also like, especially in the beginning, after book 4, the ending of book 4, I struggled a lot of going like to 5, not because it was not good, but I was emotionally damaged by that end and what was going on in the next book and how it was progressing with like the main characters and everything. It has a lot of twists and turns that I was not expecting. I know that the people are saying that it has like a lot to say, like there's a lot of extra things inside there and descriptions. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. Like I generally enjoy a chunky book if it is kind of like well written enough. For me, it is well written enough. I enjoy all of like the description. Sometimes I think that it goes like a little bit slow. I think like somewhere in the 5th and the 6th it was going like la 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 la, very nice, and I was like, when the next thing is going to happen, because I know that I'm going to be emotionally damaged with the next thing, and it did. So yeah, I have rated both the 4th and the 5th, no, the 4th I rated with a 3.75 stars. I took out 0.25 from the 4 because of the emotional damage and how I was like, I was going to the library to pick up some books and drop some books of mine, and I was like talking to myself saying like, and what did she understand by doing this? This was not nice, and what they're going to be doing now? And I was just talking with myself and generally being like upset. I had problems falling asleep. This is the kind of person that I am with books. And the 5th I rated as a 4 because of the turn and the love that I saw blossom there. So good. My third book of February was The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. That was my rental from the library, and I know that I should have read. It's a Christmas book, but I'm really enjoying it, reading it in the beginning of February as well. I have read all the other books from Lucy Score, like Things We Left Behind, all that trilogy, and then the previous book of the Fixer series. The Christmas Fix is the second book of the series. I really like the characters and how the person is going to be. So they're not exactly enemies to lovers, they're more like not liking each other or like not trusting, and independent woman and independent kind of like man, female, and the main female character and main male character. He has a kid, she's more like free-spirited, but they can't deny the attraction that they have there. She's determined that she will be building up his town after terrible flooding happened there, and hurricane, if I'm not mistaken. He's not a believer that they're gonna be having it ready by Christmas, especially since the town's theme is Christmas. They're like a living fairy tale of Christmas all year long. And I'm not going to spoil it further, but I think this mat, it has a lot of open door scenes, so if this is something not for you, maybe you could avoid it. That's the same also for Zodiac Academy 4 and 5 and the rest of the series. I like my mat, I have to say, especially when they're like well written and explained and everything, and they fit the circumstance. And I think that had it as well, with a very nice like character development, and that's why I rated 4.25, because it was I don't know, I felt for the characters, I felt very close to them. I want to read more about them. I was like, can we have more? Is there a third book? Can someone do a fanfic? Can I be the someone? something like that. So if I have like this feeling that I want more, I need to know more about the characters, I usually would give like maybe a higher rating. And if I like also the story, how it is progressing, if it's not stalling, and everything. So yeah, I'm not a professional book critic or anything. I'm a leisure book reader that I read to pass the time, to escape to other worlds, to maybe also understand other people's behavior. So don't expect something spectacular maybe from me, or like a Pulitzer award reviews are more like a feels, how they made me feel if I was upset. And even if I was upset, I would give like a nice rating to that, because it made you feel, like you connected with the characters then. So it was important, like you thought that they were real people, which is crazy if you think about it. My boyfriend always says like, Doxy, don't buy sad books because you cry and everything. I'm like, I cry in all of the books. Or I can cry in all of the books. And like, what do you mean? If the characters and the story is like that, of course I cannot help it. Anyways, I'm moving on to the Zodiac Academy, book 6, which is Fated Throne. That was book number 6. A lot of things are happening. I was losing faith on how it will go on and how they are gonna get out of it. And I was not, again, like in the beginning of the book, I had like problems of like going forward because of one of the female main characters being like in turmoil, and I was not seeing how they're gonna get her out. And if they manage like to free, like in a sense, how it's gonna go like with the other male main character and the other couple that is there. This also has open door scenes as well, so might be something that you avoid if you don't enjoy. But what I liked in the Zodiac Academy series, and it's very fascinating, and it's very fascinating whenever people like make it, they have like more characters and they develop like all of them, and you have like multi point of view chapters, and you have that in the Zodiac Academy. Maybe not from the beginning, but as the series goes on, you have it. Mind you, it is a 9-book series with crazy amount of pages, like as the books go further and further. I personally love it. It's like, give me more. The more the merrier. And they are adding like more characters and they are developing them. Of course, some of them, they are also crucial like to the story. Like all of them are like playing a role, like how the story will go. But it has a lot of parallel stories that goes together with the main theme. And it's, to me, it's crazy how people think, like how do you build that in your head. And I don't think I mentioned the designers. I don't think I mentioned the authors of those books. So the Zodiac Academy is written by Caroline Peckman and Suzanne Valenti. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And most of their books, if I'm not mistaken, they're self-published, like they're indie authors. And kudos to them. It's like, great job. I really like it. I think I'm gonna, after I finish the series, I'm gonna be reading the rest spin-off series, and a lot of people have been doing that, and I'm looking forward. Actually, I have been suggested that after I have read book 3, that I would put it aside and start reading another series that would have made more sense for the rest of the series, but I decided to go along because you can still like pay attention. So yeah. Anyways, enough of my ranting of Zodiac Academy. Can you see that I like it a lot? Yeah. So next one was the You with a View. That together with the next book that is coming were my favorite books of the month. You with a View, it is written by Jessica Joyce, was another it was one of the books that I had mentioned in my other knitting podcast that I had to finish for the library before I had to return them. And it is such a lovely story with such... I think I connected a lot with the female main character and also with the male main character because it talked a lot about... it has the general theme like of grief and losing someone that you love. It's not maybe enemies to lover, but like a childhood antagonists, people like from school to lovers, and the theme is like of maybe not identity, but of like expectations that you would have in your life when you get like into a certain age. If I'm not mistaken, with the female main character, I am the same age, I'm 32, and the character was also 32. She had just lost her job, and she has been a job that she was not exactly enjoying, but it was kind of like of a rug, since she had like rug pulled out of her, since she also had like very bad experiences as she was trying to be a photographer, and she has lost her dear grandma, but manages to find some letters of her grandma with a love of her that she had before she married the grandpa that the main character knew, and the grandpa turns out to be the grandpa of the antagonist for school, who is a very successful, or was like a very successful CFO, a chief finance officer of a startup that has to do with traveling, where next and she feels like inferior like to him because she's unemployed and searching for jobs, for searching for her passion, or like how to turn her passion into something she can work with. And this was kind of like exactly, this is also part of my story currently of what I have been going through for like around 1 year, and I don't think I have openly like talked about it, but maybe it's another part for the video. For another video, and it really deeply resonated with me on that, and also like the expectations and what also the male main character, that he had like, he was always pushed to strive for more and to go for it, and nothing was ever good enough, and I could also relate to that. So it was absolutely lovely, and I think I have somewhere here a quote that I took like a picture of. I'll try to find it and show it to you or read it. Couldn't find the quote of the book, but yeah, so it resonated a lot with me, the view, and that's why I put it at 4.5 stars, because the story and everything and how the characters were developed, it was really lovely. And my second favorite book of the month, I actually have it here. I have it both in a digital and in a format. It's Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I have read most of books from Ali, and I just love her, and I love this book. It was a 5. It was a 5 for me. I absolutely enjoyed it. It has very difficult themes of therapy and hard having like a failure on big competition. It is about two swimming, or not two swimming, one swimming main male character that is like the swim captain at Stanford, and all around aquatics like Golden Boy, Lucas Blomqvist, which is he's Swedish, and then Scarlett, which is the main character, like one of the female main character, that is diving, a diving athlete for Stanford, and she specializes in like in platform diving. Oh, she's like almost nobody called her like Scarlett apart from Lucas, and a lot of people call her Vandy. And it was it has a lot of topics of BDSM and consensual interaction. So here Ali says, like, before you dive in, pun intended, I want you to know that this work contains consensual and negotiated explorations of kink, in particular of power exchange. If you choose to read it, I hope you enjoy the experience. Oh yes, we did, Ali. We definitely did enjoy the experience. I'm just so bummed that I didn't get to have like the sprayed edges because they were not like sold here in Finland. So neither that it had like a special on the inside, but I don't know. I just read it. If you like sports romances, I love sports romances, and especially ice hockey. Sport romances, it is one for you. Absolutely enjoyed it. I don't know what to say, but I just love it. I couldn't like put it down, and a lot of it reminded me. I have also lived in Sweden, so it reminded me a lot of those parts, like from Sweden through Lucas, and and how people are like exploring things and how they cope. Normalizing therapy. I actually learned about cognitive analytical therapy through this book, and and it was quite fun when I discussed it with a professional one as a course of like of therapy. Just loved. It was one of my anticipated books for February, and it did disappoint a lot. I purchased it in. No, it didn't disappoint at all, actually. I purchased it when it came out in digital, and then when I saw it on the bookstore, I was like, I need to find a way to justify me getting that. And I actually found a way to justify this. I will talk about it in my books acquisition for this month. Loved it. I couldn't let it down. I finished it in 24 hours. And that's what happened with Ali. Ali Hazelwood, if you see me, please come to Finland or make a tour in Europe. Hi, I love you. I love your books. Keep doing what you're doing. Can't wait for Mate. Yeah, this fun girl over. And last book that I read was Spiral. Here I am back to my ice hockey romance, which is one of my favorite genres to read. It's the second book of the Ice series by Bal Cabra. I hope I read this correctly. I have read Collide. I really like Collide, and Spiral also didn't disappoint at all. I would say I gave it a 3.75. Not because I didn't relate with the story. But I think I liked more the previous book with Summer and Aiden. But yeah, I really liked them. As characters, I bought it as a digital, and Elias as Sage calls him. It is like lovely character that finds himself like in a binding like thing there. Forced proximity kind of a theme. They manage like to live together, get like hosted, and he helps her with her difficulties that she's facing. Independent. So one of the things that I wanted to independent female character, and one of the things that made me want to read it was because the main female character is a ballerina, and I did ballet for 13 years, so yes. it was lovely, and I'm glad to see that by the end they had like a fake date. That's the main trope, like fake dating, and they help each other out in a sense. I'm not gonna say something more, mainly because maybe you want to read it, but I enjoy ice hockey romances. As I have stated on my Instagram, I'm in a humble search of reading and quest of reading, finding and reading ice hockey romances that people write, all of them. So if you have any suggestion, please feel free to leave it behind. What I'm currently reading right now, that was all for February. 7 books, really like, and I really like that I had like favorites from that. What I'm currently reading, it's another library find and rental. It is A Demon's Guide to Wing a Witch by Sarah Hawley. I have read the first one. That was A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, and that's the second one from the series. So Claudia Cunnington curses the days he met Astaroth the demon, but when he shows up memoryless, why does he find him so helpless and sort of hot? So this is definitely enemies to lover, close proximity tropes. She's trying to help him out. They can be standalones, but they are interlocked. I don't know how to say that. So you can read them as standalones, but if you have read the previous one, it makes just a little bit much more sense of like why she hates him. I'm 112 pages in, and this is the point when I start like getting into it like a lot, and that's happened with the previous book that I read in December, I think, of last year. So yeah, she's a trainer she's a gifted witch trainer trying to go away of the expectations of her suffocating mother. He's a demon that belongs to the 9 of the demons, so running the demon plane, having a beef with or a wager with another of the 9 demons. He loses one, and that's why he turns memoryless, and that's where he's kind of like this book starts on everything. Yeah, and I can't wait like to go further and finish it. I have a lot of books from the library, and which hinders my progress with the books that I really want to read that I have purchased on my own, but books that I really wanted to read as well. So I'm excited for both of them. And my books acquisitions for February are these 4 actually, and I bought these 4. It's better to show them like this. I bought all of these 3 together from Akateeminen, and it is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, and The Charlie Method by L. Kennedy, which is the series of... What's the series called? The Campus series. I have read all of... I think most... I have read the Campus series, the Off-Campus series that started my passion about ice hockey romances, the Briar Hugh series and Avalon Bay series, and I haven't read the Prep and the Outlaws, all the discography. I started this in February, but I finished it on the 1st of March, so that will go into the March books. I found that all of them, like I found that one in the 1 week before it publicly like released in the bookstore, and I have done the mistake of not buying it when I saw it, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this mistake again, and very glad that I didn't. But I also purchased it in a digital form. What else? Deep End I already said, so I have read 2 out of 3 that I have purchased. Third one was the First Time Caller, B.K. Borison. I have read her other books, absolutely love them. I really love that it has like a pink foil. The cover is stunning. It was a release of February, and I just can't wait to read it. I have heard some quite good things about it all over social media, and I'm very, very excited to finish some of my library books and get on with that. I bought those 3. How I justified it. When I came back with 3 books and I said to my boyfriend, today I made sustainable financial decisions. And said, yes, and I would like to present them to you. So I went to buy those 3 books, but I knew that I shouldn't buy those 3 books. But I saw that in the bookstore, if you buy paperbacks and pocket books as they call them, you get stickers, and if you gather 8 of them, then you have 1 free pocket book. And I had 1 sticker remaining, so I was like, oh, okay, 3, 1. So 1 of them will be for free. And then it turns out, so that's how it was sustainable. So in the end, Deep End was for free because all of them had the same price, so it didn't matter which one was. So I bought 3 for the price of 2. And then it turned out when I was in the cashier, I got a new card to put put stickers on, or for the clerk to put stickers on. And I think I had double because she kept putting on, she mentioned something but she said it in Finnish and I was not very much paying attention, but then I started recalling it in my memory. I was like, oh, I think she said that I could get double sticker. Because then she kept going on. She should have put in 2, but she put 5. So 1 from the previous card and 5 from there. So I was like, okay, so I get double the points, kind of. Worked for me. I only have to buy 2 or 3 books more to get 1 more for free. That's good. Last book acquisition is really good actually by Monica Hesse. Hope I read that correctly. I have seen it going around in Book Talk, Bookstagram, all over, and I was quite intrigued. This I found it from the second-hand store, so I only purchased that for €3, and I'm quite proud of it. Yeah, and the story is Maggie's marriage has ended just 608 days after it started, but she's fine. She's doing really good actually. Sure, she's alone for the first time in her life, can't afford her rent, and her obscure PhD is going nowhere. But at the age of 29, Maggie is determined to embrace her new status as surprisingly young divorcee. Soon she's taking up sadness hobbies, getting back out there, sex-wise, and oversharing in the group chat. As Maggie throws herself headlong into the chaos of her first year of divorce, she finds herself questioning everything, including why do we still get married, did I fail before I even got started, and how many 4 a.m. delivery burgers do I need to eat until I'm happy. Really good actually is an irresistible debut novel about the uncertainties of mother-long friendship and happiness from a stunning new voice, Monica Hesse. And that is my book acquisitions, what I'm currently reading this month, right now. And I'm also reading on my e-reader, holding the reins, but yeah. That is all from books. Okay, I hope the sun moved a lot during this video, so I hope it was okay, you were able to see everything. And that is all for Knitting Podcast number 2. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you are currently working on, what you are most excited finishing, or what was the project that you saw from my works in progress that you are most excited to see me working and finishing. What kind of books are you reading? In general, keep the discussion going. I love book recommendations and discussing about books, obsessing about books, so please do. You can find me, I didn't talk about the most important part. You can find me on Instagram and on Rivalry and on Storygraph as Evdoxia, here as Doxy Can Make. I will be happy to see you in whichever of the spaces that you choose to be. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!